Is Paul? Yeah, I accidentally turned this off. Now, these are the populations of Asia. Yeah. Now, China had 1.4 billion people. Yes. And then there's some smaller nations. Cambodia, only 15 million. Right. Brunei and Bhutan, some royal families there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh. And then Bahrain, Azerbaijan. Yeah. Armenia. For some reason, there's some attraction there. And Afghanistan has 32 million people. You know, when you have a terrorist attack that causes a significant change in the actual nation of the United States and caused a war with Iraq and Afghanistan and some of these others, this concept of using technology to hide explosives so as to make it look like a terrorist attack is always a big concern because when you investigate it in real time, you're like, we don't know how it happened, but it was two planes that flew into the Twin Towers. But when you're in the family, you know how it happened, didn't you? Now, exactly how long have you been drinking the water? Could you get me the stands? Kazakhstan, yes, and Kyrgyzstan, yes, and Turkmenistan, yes, and Uzbekistan, yes. Look at 30. You know, I'm attracted to the stands. They have a lot of oil and gas industries. Not the wealthiest nations, but I'll tell you, when I get there, I plan on doing some improvements. Any nation named Stan, pooh, you know they got to be a fun place to live. Now, North Korea has how many people? Oh, approximately 25 million. Yes, South Korea has almost twice that many. I just wanted to look through the stands and find out how they're. Well, I'm somewhat of a global individual. I know if I could get over there to the stands. Now it's Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Then there's Pakistan. Pooh, look at all the stands. Yeah. See, up here in Russia, yeah, this used to be theirs. Yes, yes, yes. And then we've been having conflict over here because of September 11th and over here because of September 11th. Yes. But from what I was seeing and reading, there's some concern about exactly what was the intention of what we were doing in 2001. Oh. Now, see this Arabian Sea here? Yeah. There's quite a desert in Afghanistan, and I wanted to put one of my health camps there. Yes. And I thought I would talk to Pakistan. I'd say, well, I'd like to run a hose from here over to there, and I'd like to set up these beautification camps for women that want to volunteer. Yeah. And then there's Iran. I know they're not a favorite of the United States for me, though. I really do like them. Axis of evil, is that right? I have an agreement for 100,000 shelters for all of their, well, lesser fortunate citizens that uses a hot roof technology. Did you know that if you allow for sunlight to shine, yes, into water, it causes a magnification effect similar to a magnifying glass? So what I thought I'd do is I'd put some shelters over here in Iran, about 100,000 of them. Yes. And then I made this tub that goes on top of one of these recycled garbage shelters where a family of four can comfortably live. Yeah. And then I fill it with water at night when the sun is not shining, and I put a piece of tinfoil on the bottom of it. And the magnification of the sun and the the convection of the actual tub causes the sunlight to focus and be magnified through the water, and it points it up through what's known as solar film. Japanese company that I wanted to purchase. I thought I had an agreement to buy it. Yeah. Well, The whole solar panel thing doesn't work as well as what my innovation does because I can take solar film. Yes, I can put 100 of them together. Yes. And when I magnify the water that goes into the actual tub on top of the shelter, it reflects from the foil on the bottom, causing a mirror effect, and goes up through the solar film, producing way more electricity than what's used. Now, you would think Iran would want to do this deal with me because all these shelters are made from recycled garbage, really. Yeah, I designed them myself. And you can get one. It's a 5-year payment plan at a 7% interest. Now, I averaged it out to about $5 a month for those that are very poor, and for any individual in humanity that wants to house 1 billion persons that can't afford a new house. You would think that sheltering 1 billion citizens of the world would be of paramount importance to the United States of America. Now, each one of these, I just pump in some water over here. It's fresh water, but I can put solar furnaces that use sunlight to desalinate the water so that I get the salt and I pump fresh water into the tubs on top of each of the shelters. 25,000 of them in various locations throughout Iran, yes, producing a tremendous amount of electricity that I myself receive. Now, let's say you had 1 billion citizens of the world and they all live around this area. Yes, yes, yes. And it's hot there, isn't it, Pakistan? And I desalinate the water before I pump it into the tubs, and they use it as their own bathing water. See, when you let water sit in a tub all day long in 90-degree weather with a mirror finished foil on the bottom of the tub, yes, it gets boiling hot. Yes, it's like 150 degrees hot. And then you get home from your hard day of work in Pakistan, working in the fields or whatever else is you do. And you take a nice hot shower every night. Well, when I refill this with all that desalinated water, yes, yes. What happens is at the nighttime, it's cold when the sun goes down in these various stands and everything. So that when you get up to go to school as a school-aged child in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, or quite possibly Iraq, yes, 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 you take a cold shower before going to school so as to make sure your body's nice and cool before you go into that school that doesn't have any air conditioning. Because now I'm looking to make 250 million shelters that will comfortably house 4 persons in humanity along this equator of the world, yes, where I get all the electricity from 250 million units because of using fresh water that was desalinated from the ocean. Yes. I get all the salt too. Yes, yes. And I sell them. 250 million of them based upon the actual incomes of the population, financed at 7% a year. I know, I know. You're thinking to yourself, well, what does it cost me to manufacture a shelter made from recycled garbage? Let's say I was to sell it to the Afghanistan's a 30 million person population. I sold, could be 1 million, 2 million of them, depending upon how you want to add it up. I sell it for $500. I manufacture it for $100 to $200. Then you have to truck it over there. You have to set it up. You know what I did? I, well, no, it's a personal decision. I decided to throw in an incubator for eggs so you could have chickens in your front yard. Now, as much as you would think, okay, buying one of these shelters where I'm getting all the electricity for 250 million, How important is a chicken to a family of four in Pakistan?